Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Walter Brown, Free Thinkers Union, and I'm here with So Exquisite Charleston magazine. I just released my EP titled Concrete Rose. It was based off of the idea that something beautiful, i.e. a rose, can grow from a hard exterior or hard circumstance, concrete, growing through that. In my life and my experience, it just was me dropping out of high school and kind of being involved in the street life and going to prison and just dealing with all the things that come from that, and growing through that and becoming a better person because of it, and using all of those negative things to just bring a lot of positivity in my life, and just showing that that's not just significant to me, or I'm not the only person that can do that, but everybody has gone through something hard or knows someone that has, and you can grow from that, and that can be used for the betterment of yourself and people around you, and you can express that. I'm expressing that through music. That's my art form, but that can be expressed through anything, really. Well, how you were talking about the responsibility of just musicians in general, and especially us being black people, especially black men, our responsibility is even greater because we influence so many people. Urban culture is probably the most influential thing in America right now. Hip-hop music is, that is pop music, regardless of what people will call pop music. I mean, hip-hop music is, the #1 source of music in this country, and, our responsibility as artists, musicians, is to spread a message, and it's different messages out there. My message is not the same as others, but the fact that we can all relate on one level, and that's because we're all human. So irregardless of what race you are, what sex you are, what religion you believe in, you're a human at the end of the day. So we all experience the same emotions. We all experience happiness, sadness, anger, joyfulness, like stress, all those things everyone experiences, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you got, no matter where you come from. And so as a musician, I feel like our responsibility is just to find a way to convey those emotions in something that's true to us, but in a way that someone who might not experience it can have empathy. Because like I was talking to a good friend of mine, and she's a musician as well, but she's Israeli, so I guess she's more familiar with white culture, or if that even is a thing. But she was talking to me about police brutality and her place in that, and if it was okay for her to speak on that. And I said, well, as artists, because we have our voice and that's our biggest gift, like it's our duty to speak on these things. Just because you haven't experienced it firsthand, your empathy, and the fact that you're looking at it, you have an opinion on it. And so we have to be able to voice that opinion in a way that, anyone can relate to, in a way that doesn't exclude anyone, in a way that when I say this, you may be offended, but that you're not excluded, that you don't feel like I'm pushing you out of this because I'm talking about it, because your music can't reach people when you do that. You want your music to reach everywhere. And so it's just about trying to relate on that base level of just being a human. And my style of music, I kind of incorporate a lot of different things. Concrete Rose is my story sung out loud. My experiences and the experience of so many other people that I know. And it's just that sung out loud through singing and through a little bit of soulfulness, because that's what people feel, that's what people connect with, is that honesty, and when you're telling your story and you're telling it from a true place, I mean, you have no choice but to feel it, because it's it's that emotion that I'm connecting to, just me, being on the Charleston City paper, man, it was a blessing, definitely, and that kind of, from my perspective, the way I look at it is, I'm doing what I feel like is my purpose, or one of my purposes, because I feel like we all have multiple purposes in life, and so with that just comes all of these opportunities, and for anybody out there that's chasing a dream or trying to achieve something, if you continue to stay focused and you continue to pray and you continue to just be tenacious with it, you know, like the whole getting the cover Charleston paper, that just came from a lot of hard work, a lot of not giving up, a lot of not accepting no's, a lot of reaching out to people and sometimes hearing, you know, we don't know right now or we'll get back to you, but you know, not being down on myself and not allowing that to deter me from what I felt like in my heart was my purpose and my plan, and you know, the direction that my life should go in. You know, with being on the cover, man, seeing myself on there, it was, you know, I was a little taken aback, man, and like I said, man, I was just thankful, and it just shows me that, you know, people are watching, you know, that people are noticing what you're doing. You know, sometimes you might not get the accolades, and you know, everybody might not be like, oh, this or that, but somebody's watching, and the person that's meant to watch is watching. You know, a lot of times, because we can't see what's going on, you know, you can't see who's watching you do this or watching you do that, you feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I need a bigger platform. But I'm slowly realizing that that's not the case. It's the right people watching. So, you know, with that, man, it was just confirmation to me to just continue to push and continue to work hard and continue to just trust in God, most importantly, because, I mean, you know, that's who I credit all this to. You know, He's using me, and as long as I continue to stay grounded in that, man, you know, there's no telling what can happen. So, you know, being from Charleston, it's a lot of people refer to it as like a crab city. I don't call it that. I just call it somewhere that, you know, this is a city where you gotta work for what you want. You know, it's not Los Angeles, it's not New York City, it's not Atlanta. You know, you can't just come here or live here and just have this great thing and think that that's gonna be it. Like, you have to create a body of work, and I'm slowly realizing that, you know, a place like Charleston, it's just seen a lot of hardship. You know what I mean? Just if you look the past year, you know, like that's the common thing in our city. It's a tough place. It was built off slavery. So that right there is enough for you to understand the challenges that you face, that we face. And so, you know, we're having that in mind, and we're understanding what people got through or, you know, went through just to get a little bit of something. You know, I understand that it's not gonna be easy, but I don't feel like I want it to come easy, because when it comes easy, you don't cherish it as much, and you know, you don't appreciate it as much. You know, me going to prison, like, I base my life off of all those things that I went through and how grateful I am for them now. So, you know, like me going to prison, I'm grateful for like family and all these things that I hold valuable to me. It took me going to prison, so I feel kind of the same way with me being from Charleston. Like, all these experiences that come from living in this city, you know, the friction or the, you know, it seems like you got people pushing against you all the time when you're trying to create something, you know, especially in this hip-hop scene in Charleston. I mean, it's not a wide variety of hip-hop artists that are really doing things in this city, you know, on a level that is, I guess you would compare it to the rock music or the indie music scene downtown Charleston, because it's not a lot of opportunities. But as you continue to work hard, you begin to meet people that are doing the same thing you're doing, you know, that have those same goals as you, you know, Do Work Media and Black Dave and, you know, just all those people. Like, they're also pushing hip-hop downtown and just hip-hop in Charleston, period. And so, you know, while you continue to go hard and continue to push, you inspire other people, and then that builds kind of that steam behind the engine, and now you got something going, and now, you know, you got a train moving in. Just being from Charleston, man, it teaches you that nothing comes easy. You got to work for everything, and you got to work hard. You know, it's not nothing is given to you here. But I feel like for anybody that really is doing something they love, that won't stop. You know, that won't matter. That'll just prepare you for the next level. And then once you accomplish all that you set out to accomplish here, then, you know, now you're on to the next city. But those things aren't new to you. You've already experienced, you know, the naysayers and the people that's not trying to let you get in and do that. And so you have that wisdom, and now you know how to navigate through that. And so I feel like Charleston is just really, it's somewhere that prepare you for the world. Because I mean, the world is, you know, swallow you up and spit you out, you know. So Charleston is just one of those cities that really, if you want it and you chase it and you get it, you'll appreciate Charleston. Because like I said, man, you know, it was built on the backs of slaves. So coming from having that in your DNA, it already makes you special. It already makes you tough, you know. It already makes you prepared for the world that we live in. So I'm grateful for this city, man. I don't even dwell on that negativity, you know, that comes from that, because to me it's nothing, you know. It just presents me with an opportunity to prove some people wrong, and you know, to do it and say, hey man, look what we did, you know, look what God allowed us to do. Even though we had this group of people that really weren't trying to feel us, they weren't trying to hear us, weren't trying to let us in, but I mean, you know, what God has for you can't nobody stop. So, you know, that's how I feel about my city, man. I love it, you know, I'm thankful for it. Yeah, I don't have nothing bad to say. I wouldn't say it's a crap city. I would say it's a city that prepares you for the world. You know, just continuing with the music, you know, I always say, like, in my mind, I'm already at the end of 2017. As far as in my mind and the things that I'm planning and putting into place, you know, so just right now we have the Concrete Rose EP out, and you know, we're continuing to push that and shooting a video for the next single, Concrete Rose, and just continuing to inspire people downtown Charleston, and Charleston the city period, not just downtown Charleston but the city period, but trying to move, you know, because I feel like hip-hop is so involved and it's so prevalent in West Ashley and North Charleston and Goose Creek, but we're trying to bring that in the heart of Charleston, which is downtown, because that makes up such a big part of Charleston. Our slang, our lingo, our style, like, that is a big part of the city. And so, you know, myself and, you know, I named a few others, we're trying to now move that into the heart of downtown. And so I'm just, you know, being on the forefront with my music and with my message, and you know, with this positivity and this unity that we're trying to bring downtown. You know, that's just one of my main goals as far as the city is concerned and as far as music is concerned. And personally, I'm just trying to continue to grow and to continue to, like, build experiences, you know. So far I'm realizing that, like, the common theme in my life has been experiences, meeting different people, going different places. It's helped shape me. So, you know, as far as, like, just moving on with my life personally, it's just continuing to do that, continuing to grow, and not be afraid to get out of my comfort zone, and not be afraid to do different things, and not being afraid to fail at things, because, you know, failing is probably, you know, using the right way, failing is probably the biggest gift that you can receive, because you learn so much from failing that you may not have learned from succeeding. So, you know, just personally, though, you know, that's my goal, is to continue to grow and experience different things, and continue to push my music, you know, statewide, and then, you know, nationally, and then the whole world eventually. But, you know, trying to bring Charleston outside of Charleston, you know, to where other people get to see what it's like, and also see, you know, that Charleston is a special place, you know, that has a lot of creative hip-hop artists, because we don't get enough credit for that. We really don't get any credit for that right now, but, you know, that's slowly changing, and the more that we support one another, the more that, you know, I show love to my local artists, and they show love to us. And, you know, these people, man, they gotta hear us. You know, they gotta let us in. They gotta give us those opportunities to perform at their venues, you know, because if they don't, you know, we'll just continue to make that noise and continue to knock on that door, and eventually they'll open it. So, you know, it's just for the progression of hip-hop, progression of my people, progression of my family. You know, that's my goal, man. You know, it's so much that I could say, oh, like, I'm gonna do this and do that, but those things are just like these small pieces of the bigger goal, which, like I said, is to bring hip-hop in the heart of downtown Charleston, and to bring Charleston and present that to the world, you know, because, you know, like I said, man, I love my city, and my city is a very special place, home of a lot of people on this East Coast. A lot of people's family and ancestors came from this place, and, you know, my granddad, man, he always drills into me the history of my city, the history of where we came from and the history of what we built, you know. And so I take a lot of pride in that, man. And with my music, I try to pay homage to that in a creative and artistic way that doesn't exclude anyone who's not black, but at the same time, it lets people know that I'm proud of my culture, and you know, it gives them a little insight on that.